Hello there, summoners, and welcome to the Garena Low Varsity League. My name is Vulcan, and with me is Chisto. After a rather long break, we are resuming our LVL stream. So, before anything else, man, we have some announcements to make regarding last week. Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties due to some issues here. We have moved the stream to this week. And as for UST and Ajax game, I know you're looking forward to UST's game and I Academy's game, but will be moved on January 2018. But for more accurate schedules, check out our Facebook page at Garena LOL Collegiate PH.
Yeah, and of course, I'm very excited to see today's matches. The first match between UPD and FIT. I'm very interested because last week, of course,
yeah, let's have a short recap to see, you know, before everything else. The schedule right now would be UPD versus FIT, followed by AMA and MCL. And a treat to all the summoners out there who follow the LCL, we will be having a show match to see, you know, it's not going to be competitive or anything, more of a fun or casual game of our champions to their respective conference. But let's look at the standings, Chisto, to have a short recap to see what are the teams are fighting for, because as far as I can recall, TUP, they are at their first place.
Yeah, TUP clearly dominant as far as the LVL goes, and they look poised to make that, to lock in that first spot and really just dominate throughout the playoff stage. So we'll see, can UPD possibly make a run to try and get that third spot?
So, third spot in the standings, because as we all know, the top 3 teams in the LVL, they will be moving on to the playoff stage, the gauntlet format, where, you know, it's 7 teams, so only the top 3 teams will be picked. So in a way, it's a major cutthroat, and as and I can recall, I can see right now that TUP, I'm pretty sure that they are at the same spot here. I mean, a 7-1 standing is something of a threat.
They've looked very strong, but as for the teams playing today, I think UPD, they're going to want to try and make a run towards that third spot, and this is where they have to start. This is where they need to really step up, especially since last week, both teams playing in their first match had a rather disappointing result.
Yes, to have a short recap of UPD's performance over the weeks, and to sum it all up, they have lost 0-2 twice over the past few weeks, and right now they're sitting at the 5th rank, 2-4. They debuted their LVL with a strong 2-0, but moving on and on, they got 0-2 twice. And as for FIT, they had a rough start too. First day, they had a 0-2, but they did make a comeback for a 2-0, but in the end, the curse returned, and that is why their standing is 2-6. So, let's see, Chisto. Can UPD or FIT bounce back and at least make it to the top 3 spots? We'll see. Before we move on to the drafting phase, let's get to know our players.
Yeah, for UPD Ablation Esports, we have Nona in the top lane, Veer in the jungle, Solace in the mid lane, Yosha and AD carrying Alto in support with their coach, Red Mayhem Bartolome.
And moving on to FIT, it would be Ashira in the top lane, Mint as their jungler, Zayn as their mid laner, Berger as their ADC, and D as their support. As for their coach, would be Eman Carivius Malilay.
Yeah, and of course, both these teams I have to mention, they had quite a long break before being to play again. So let's see, have they reset? Are they out of their slump, I should say?
When you're having a long reset, it's kind of a two-way street. It's how you use your spare time here when you're moving on to LVL. This is the first ever LVL by Garena, and you want to make a good impression as the first 7 pioneering schools in the LVL. You want to make an impression and make it last.
Yeah, and definitely. So we will be heading straight into the drafting phase here. Let's see what these teams have in store. Maybe they have a new read on the meta, perhaps.
So far, let's get straight to the drafting phase. UPD on the blue side versus FIT on the red side. Note that this is just game 1. Both of these teams will have 2 games here to try and crunch the numbers in their standings. And Chisto, what are the opening bands?
Yeah, Ornn is available for UPD if they want to jump on that pick. Jace Hover right now, though, still a strong top laner. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if they switch this up into an Ornn.
And for UPD, they are prioritizing the Jace in the top lane for Nona, but still could be a flex. But we all know right now, in the meta, we're no strangers anymore compared to the first ever game of LVL, where it was still the preseason. Kind of we see surprises here and there. But right now, do you think the surprises will stop?
Yeah, I think at this stage in the current patch, the teams have had a quick grasp. We've already played enough solo queue, had enough time to really adjust. So now we'll be seeing more of these decisive picks, I should say.
Some have, let's say, picks that they rather are comfortable with. So for FIT, they will be locking in their bot lane duo.
Yeah,
Leona and Misfortune.
That's a very strong bot lane duo in my opinion.
What makes you say?
Because during the preseason, I think as far as the AD carry meta goes, Poke in the bot lane is very, very strong. And Misfortune, just one of those AD carries paired with Arcane Comet, gonna have so much more Poke and really, really try to press the bot lane of UPD.
And when you have the Arcane Comet on the Misfortune, the Make It Rain has a slow zone, and that's a sure hit on the Comet, right? That's so interesting. But for FIT, they have banned away 2 remaining ADCs, the Illusion and Tristana. Whereas for UPD, removing the Ord and the Orianna. And as for FIT, is this going to be a top Camille?
I do believe this will be top Camille, but we've seen Camille go mid lane. But with the 2 AD carry bans from FIT, that's really smart, trying to pinch Yachan's pool. And now he is hovering the Sai, which would fit their comp fairly well.
What makes you say?
Because their comp already has a lot of engagement. Saya just will complement that with all more follow-up CC if she's able to root them with her Blade Caller. So I like the draft coming out from both teams, really. Very, very strong.
So strong drafts coming from UPD. But for FIT, this could be, let's say, some of a mix of both things. Because as far as I can tell, a Camille in the top lane is not as powerful as a Jace early level 3 or level 1s. Because Camille tends to really... it can kind of get item dependent over time.
Yeah, but if Camille is able to survive the early bullying potential of the Jace, she's one of those champs that can 1v1 the Jace as far as when they begin split pushing. Jace is very oppressive, but Camille has enough lockdown and gap close and damage to actually 1v1 him. So if Ashera on this Camille is able to survive, I really like his chances versus Nona.
And when it comes to split pushing, Jace and Camille, who do you think would outscale the other?
I definitely think it ultimately comes down to whoever comes out of laning phase with an advantage, and it's gonna be up to both junglers to really influence that matchup, because like you mentioned, both of these champions very, very item dependent. They need to farm up, they need gold, they need to snowball in order to be relevant once the mid to late game comes. So it's really up to the junglers to influence how that matchup goes. And
when we are talking about the junglers, it's a Sejuani and a Zac. I don't think we've seen much of a change in meta in the junglers, not just the fact that we are seeing that Kha'Zix and Assassin junglers are actually favored. But still, we cannot disregard the tank junglers like the Sejuani and the Zac. They still have a place in the hearts of the players in this meta.
Yeah, and of course, looking at both heavy engages, and once we get to that team fight stage, it's ultimately going to come down to whoever gets the jump on who, because if the Sejuani gets to land her huge Glacial Person first, that's a huge advantage for UPD. But if the Zac is able to get that huge Elastic Slingshot out of Fog of War, that's going to be big for FIT. So it's going to come down to execution once the game begins.
So let's see the execution of this draft for both teams once we load up to the Rift once again. We are Shotcasters. My name is Vulcan, and with me is Gisto. We're shooting the LBL stream after a rather long downtime because, you know, we still have some things to prepare, especially the holidays are coming up on us. Right now it is December 17, very close to Christmas, Gisto.
Yeah, I'm already very excited for the holiday dinners, like holiday ham, really like that stuff.
You have any plans for the holidays, Gisto?
Nah, I'll probably just stay at home and play games.
A true League of Legends player right here, everyone. And the holidays, you would just play low. But let's see for the LVL players if they're ready to at least shape out the standings, because they are at the bottom 4. Yes, bottom 4,
yeah,
because we only have 7 teams compared to the format that we are very familiar with, which is the PGS, which has 8 teams. So top 3, only the top 3 will make it to the playoff stage. So let's see. Can UPD, Oblation Esports bounce back from a very rough 2 weeks of 0-2? Or can FIT? They had some strong games, but still, it's a back and forth for FIT.
Yeah, both teams definitely, they want to come out on top here because, like we mentioned previously, during last week, they weren't able to come out with any wins, and now getting a win is just a really big shift in momentum for them.
And when you're talking about momentum, is it possible that UPD or FIT can make it to the top 3?
As far as mathematics go, I think UPD has a chance, but they have to win the rest of their games.
And as for UST and IAC, their games will be again rescheduled for next year, which is January 2018. For more announcements, check out our Garena LOL Collegiate page for, to see that if when it comes to standings or recaps, it's all there. Highlights too. And if you missed out on some games, we do have some videos there to catch it up. And as for how the LVL is shaping up, I'm pretty impressed with the TUP because, in my opinion, it's not a surprise that TUP immediately takes the first seed because
they were LCL finals.
They were LCL finals. They were also the champions. Were they the champions, Chisto?
They were the runner-ups to UPD.
The runner-ups to UPD. As for UPD, they have secured their championship in the previous term. And as for now, LVL's summer term, spring term, let's see how will UPD try and fight back TUP.
Yeah, of course, this is a different UPD roster compared to the championship winning one. Only Veer is left here. That rhymed so cool. But looking back, UPD, they're working with new players here, so it'll be very interesting to see how that pans out as the LVL moves on.
Breathe. So as for before we load into the Rift, once again, this is UPD versus FIT Game 1. We still have another matchup coming up. Be sure to stay tuned for that. And as for, again, we have a treat for the LCL fans out there. A show match of the respective champions in their conference.
Yeah, it's going to be very high level.
High level, but it's going to be casual because we know that this is a show match. And if you show your cards already in a show match,
none of those teams would want to play bad. They'd want to try hard.
They want to try hard and show them what they've got. Is that what you're saying, Chisto?
I mean, it's champion versus champion. You want to show that you're the dominant team in your region.
But isn't it more, let's say, bragging rights if they don't play serious and they still win?
It's still gonna be bragging rights. Whoever takes down the opposing team's Nexus definitely really brag about that.
So they're gonna be saying that I am the stronger champion because we have 6 champions total.
Yeah. 4 of them are playing today. And
as for the LVL, we will be crowning only 1 champion. And for the fans out there who follow the LCL, the Collegiate Esports page, you might be wondering, who is gonna represent us in the LICC?
Yeah, and very excited to see that.
And for a teaser out there, before you want to know who wants to move on to the finals and represent the Philippines in the LICC, be sure to check out our Facebook page because we will be having hints about that and who knows, maybe some announcements regarding that. But as a summary of the drafting phase, we have Oblation Esports again on the blue side versus FIT Tamaraos on the red side.
Yeah, like I mentioned, both of these drafts very, very strong, very potent for team fighting. It's really going to come down to whoever can pull the trigger first.
Trigger first for the Zack and the Sejuani. So do you think that the Zack and the Sejuani will be the ones to shape the clashes?
Yeah, definitely. But I think Mint will have a harder time engaging in fights because there's a lot of interrupts from the side of Oblation Esports. And for Zack to get in with that elastic slingshot, you really need to play around Vision very, very properly.
And when it comes to the elastic slingshot, we have the Azir's Emperor's Divide, the Glacial Fissure from the Braum. So it's all about timing for Tamaraos. And as for Oblation, they have... Actually, I think they're pretty safe because they have more tools to work around. If one thing fails, they can try another. But let's see it. Everything, their draft, their strategy unfold right now here on Summoner's Rift. This is Game 1 of the LVL UPD Oblation Esports versus FIT Tamaraos. Let's get straight to it.
Yeah, let's see how both teams decide to play out this level 1. I do believe it will be just point defense for both teams. Gonna try to spot out any invades. UPD gonna try and go for Vision.
They're going for scouting out the map here. They want to know at least any information they can try and gather is important right now because at this point, you cannot afford a loss.
Yeah, especially now with UPD playing versus a Zack. Knowing where the Zack starts is very, very important because he does clear fairly slowly compared to a Sejuani. Plus, Zack's level 3 gang is very, very strong. So once they do know where he starts, they're going to have more intel to work with and possibly avoid these ganks coming from Mint.
And as for point defense going so far, both teams have not secured any deep wards in their enemy jungle.
UPD placed one on the red buff.
And UPD, yes, they have placed one on the red buff here. Compared for FIT, I don't think they have any wards inside the side of UPD.
Okay, so now they know the Zac is starting red buff. That will either lead into the Zac pathing towards the bot lane, try and all in, pair with the CC of the Leona, or he can go for a more safer clear and just take out all of his camps and try to get that level 6 very quickly.
Yeah, when you're talking about rotating towards the bot lane, by that time, I think the Leona is pretty much ready to go all in.
Definitely.
Let's see.
Leona, once she hits level 2, once she has her Zenith Blade 2 combo, that's a lot of lockdown, and that will ensure the Zac landing the Elastic Slingshot if you execute it properly, and you're gonna burn a summoner from UPD for sure.
And we're talking about the bot lane where, as we said in the drafting, very poke heavy. We have a Misfortune possibly running the Arcane Comet paired up to Leona. So let's see.
Oh, they hit level 2.
A lot of aggression here, and look at the shred there. Yes, it'll be a Misfortune running the Arcane Comet with the Leona's Aftershock. Incredible damage straight up here. And I think for UPD, they will be having a disadvantage when it comes to trades.
Yeah, and especially with Leona's passive, the Sunlight proccing for even more magic damage, UPD's bot lane is gonna feel the wrath of all that poke.
And when we're talking about poke, we are seeing the Zac already in the river, nearing the Ocean Drake's pit. Very close to the bot lane, but we do see Veer also spotted here in the map here. Very low on health. This could be a risky gank.
They haven't spotted him. He snuck up here.
He snuck up here, but there is a ward right there. If he stands on top of that ward, I think that's going to be a giveaway already.
Will he? I wonder if Veer will step forward into that bush. I don't think he will. He did recall, so both teams not going for that very aggressive after first clear, go for a gank. Both junglers just going to settle to farm and mint. Great steal in the Raptor camp here. Very well played.
Well played indeed. So he will be taking out some resources, immediately giving him an advantage of 8 CS in the jungle camps.
Yeah, and that will delay Veer a lot because Sejuani relies a lot on her ultimate in order to pull off those really big ganks. She needs that other layer of lockdown to help the members of UPD secure more of these kills, whereas the Zac doesn't rely as much. He only needs at least 2 ranks in his Elastic Slingshot, so he has that bonus range, and he can catch you off guard very, very early.
And when you're talking about catching people off guard, leave it to the Zac, right? Leave it to the Zac to bypass some vision, compared to that maybe he has the same behavior, same nature as a Lee Sin.
Yeah, I should say, yeah. Definitely gonna hop over walls.
And somehow have a surprise gank here in the bot lane, right?
Yeah, but he is hovering around mid lane though, so no bot lane guys very soon. Here comes one.
Let's see here, right now, gang in the mid lane. Mid goes in onto Solus. First blood that's not yet secured. No summoners burn in the mid laner for UPD. So, still, it's a safe game for Oblation Esports. But the Tamaraus getting a bit too aggressive here. Remember that whoever pulls the trigger first, as Justo said, can really shape how the clashes can turn out. Oh,
have they spotted Veer? He is fairly safe though.
He has spotted out Veer in the Grumps.
Yeah, they know Veer's bot lane, and now the members of FIT have to play a bit more passively.
And yes, when you're talking about playing passively, what do you think that FIT has here so far? But reaching level 5, oh, a trade-off here in the top lane. Oh, Nona is a bit low here in this chase, but still going for a trade-off against this Camille to even things out. Both at a relatively same health and mana levels right now, but when it comes to trade-offs, leave it to the Jace to out-damage this Camille.
Yeah, Sharon needs to be very careful going for those trades because he hasn't backed yet. Nona has an item advantage. Will he go for it all in?
First blood at stake here. Nona can go in with his to the skies, but will not risk it. He does not know where Mint is around the map.
Yeah, that's a very smart choice. And looking at mid lane, Vladimir will get chunked down. He's Vladimir though, he will be able to sustain all of this up fairly soon.
And knowing this Azir, relying on mana, a bit low on his resource, cannot further poke him anymore. So let's see how things will pan out once we see the level 6 happening here, and maybe the plays from Sejuani. Level 4 for Veer, level 5 for Mid. So I think it's safe to say that FIT can have more time to be aggressive, knowing that Veer is behind in CS, experience, and in gold. knowing that the ultimate will not be ready for Veer, this is actually good news for FIT.
Yeah, but with that being said, with Veer nearing that level 6 and Mint not really finding much success on his ganks, once UPD resets, they're going to be able to pick up vision, and it's going to be very hard for a Zac to go for these ganks.
Level 6 happening on a Zac, is that going to be very difficult for Mint to pull off?
I mean, he's going to near level 6 soon, but Zac really doesn't need that ultimate to pull off ganks very early into the game. Once he does have at least 2 to 3 ranks on his elastic slingshot, he's very, very effective.
And when you're talking about, let's say, level 6 spikes and seeing how FIT, they're not, as you said, Chisto, they're not being that proactive. I mean, they took away the level 6 gank away from Sichuan, seeing how Veer is level 4. This doesn't really hinder UPD that much, but for FIT, they have to capitalize on this, right? But they're not doing anything to do it because we're seeing here already reaching almost the 8-minute mark. No first blood secured just yet, no objectives, but maybe we'll be seeing a change here in the top lane. A trade-off happening here.
1v1.
Nona's very low, but he will be flinging a Shira away for his safety.
Now, Mint has been camping this mid lane, really trying to pressure Solars, giving the Azir a very hard time.
Why the Azir though?
Because they don't want to get the Azir into that late game where he gets to just be this monstrous hyper carry. They're trying to delay the power spikes as long as they can.
But when you're so focused on the Azir, doesn't that leave, let's say, Yo-chan on his side? Do you think that's not a threat towards FIT?
Definitely a threat, but it looks like Mint's priorities are towards his mid lane. And with that being said, you mentioned FIT aren't playing as proactively. I think you have to credit UPD as well because they've been playing very, very passive, waiting for Veer to get to the Glacial Prison before they go for any of these aggressive moves.
And when we're talking about ultimates being ready, Veer level 5, Mint's level 6. So let's see, once Veer reaches level 6, will we see more proactiveness from UPD? We'll find out right now, but for the bot lane, seems to be the target for Mint. Giving up his mid lane camp so far. We see a vision, no vision secured for... Oh, this is bad news.
It'll be very hard for the Zac to actually pull off this gank. I think UPD knows he is there.
Let's see though, they're playing very passive. So, looks like...
Snuck
up through the fog of war. There is a ward in that small brush. Level 6 available for Mint.
Yochan does have Featherstorm though.
He's a bit low on mana, but
on the left!
Using the Featherstorm for his escape. The player will miss, and 3 members spotted in the bot lane of UPD. There's the Glacial Prison. That's going to be a lot of slow, and that could be the first one at stake here. D flashes out, teleport incoming. Ashira joins in the fight, goes in for the engage. Thanks to Leona, D backs out, trades in, weaving in out of battle. This will be 4 members in the bot lane with UPD surviving that gank.
Yeah, very, very well played there by Yochan, able to use his Featherstorm to dodge out of the Elastic Slingshot and the Juke on the Solar Flare. So very, very well played by UPD and Veer at the right place at the right time. No first blood yet for both teams.
And note that Veer was there at the exact moment, and he was level 6. So this is good information. This is good news for UPD. They are still trying to bounce back into this game, and I don't think the camp pressure was okay in the early phases, but it's kind of disappointing that FIT didn't use that to their advantage. But as you said, Chisto, credits to UPD for playing passively.
Yeah, and now that Veer has his ultimate up, once that comes off of cooldown, I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for more of these ganks. But oh, they're going for 1v1 top lane.
Top lane 1v1, but still, you cannot underestimate the damage coming from the Jace.
Yeah, I think at this point, Ashira has to respect the damage coming from a Jace that already has serrated dirt completed. He only has Sheen and no real armor items, so that Jace is gonna hit like a truck.
And no Tiamat. Normally, don't Camille's go for a Tiamat rush to get those resets?
Normally, Camille's would go for Tiamat in order to match the wave clear of their opposing laner, but Ashira's going for a more 1v1 oriented build because having that Sheen just gives her so much more burst when she goes for these trades versus Nona.
And not to mention, cooldown reduction is always a welcome stat here in the top lane. And more mana means more spam ability.
Yeah, and now Ashira did pick up the Ninja Tabby, so he'll begin mitigating some of the damage that the Jace will be able to put out. So very good buy there.
And when you're talking about, let's say, the Jace, negating the damage, he already has the Warhammer and the Serrated Dirk. The Jace will have more attack, I think. Yes, more attacks than the Camille, but as you said, the Tabby is there to negate majority of the damage, a lot. Ever since the preseason happened, I would say that the Ninja Tabby is such a favorable pick for any laner, any champion, not just the ADCs, but also the top laners.
Yeah, because everyone's almost auto-attack based. And actually, I want to mention, I'm very surprised that both the junglers didn't opt to play around the top lane, given that that's the most volatile matchup of all lanes. Camille versus Jace can tilt either way, really, and both junglers haven't worked to influence that matchup. Very surprised.
As for what you said about the top lane, when the late game does happen, isn't Camille going to be a beast? Compared to a Jace, because Camille has this incredible engage with its range, not to mention the lockdown from the Hexa Ultimatum. But for the Jace, do you think a Poke champion can really outscale a composition that's heavy, so heavy on engages?
I mean, for Camille, she's going to provide a lot of that engage, like you mentioned, but if Jace is able to land these huge shock blasts before the fight even starts, I think that will force FIT to just back off, and that's the strength that Jace gives if he's able to get his core items.
I think we're seeing a very, very stale game here, knowing that when it comes to the mid game, expect that things will heat up here. For game 1 of the LVLs, it looks like we are having some technical difficulties. We'll be fixing that up soon for you guys there. But still, stick around. We will be resuming our game 1. And as far as we can tell, First Blood has not yet been secured, Chisto. I mean,
yeah, the game has been very, very passive. Both teams showing a lot of respect, really. And UPD knowing that the Zac is a huge threat in the early game. I like the adaptation that they did, that they played a bit more back. Really trying to get Veer to that stage where he can begin influencing the map once he has Glacial Prison up.
He has Glacial Prison up right now, but don't you think it's a bit too late? Because the reason why the Glacial Prison is strong in level 6 is because other laners, they don't have, let's say, when a jungler reaches level 6, sometimes the bot lane cannot be level 6, sometimes they're level 5, they won't have proper items, but at this point, don't you think it's a bit too late now?
I don't think it's too late for them. I mean, now they have that option to start fights. Now they have the tools to play proactively, whereas FIT, they had tools early to play aggressive, play proactive, but they weren't able to utilize them as well in the early game as they would have hoped for.
Let's see if UPD's passive playstyle worked out in their favor, because as far as I can tell, this is still anyone's game where I don't see any tilting balance here in the game 1 where either teams, they have an advantage over the other.
Yeah, definitely. As far as scaling goes, I definitely have to favor UPD's comp. They have the Azir that's just an absolute monster in the late game, whereas FIT, they rely a lot on their 5v5 team fight.
When you're talking about the 5v5 team fights, the Zac is there for an incredible disrupt. But still, I like to see. What I love about an Azir pickup is that those Emperor's Divide, those crucial ultimates, are something that you gotta watch out for. Something that UPD has to use if they want to win the first game and the succeeding game with their momentum. But we'll see. FIT still not yet out of the game. This is still going to be anyone's game in the sense that, let's say, because what I can see right now when it comes to, how can I phrase it? When I don't see any advantage in any lane, it's kind of scary.
It's the calm before the storm, Vulcan.
It's scary.
You're just waiting for somebody to land that huge CC, and then everyone's just gonna pile onto that and just absolutely destroy whoever gets caught.
So let's see, will they have a signal warning before the storm right now? Seeing top lane is favored, but a blind Ocean Drake from UPD is going to be Oblation Esports, taking away the first Drake of the game, the Ocean Drake.
Yeah, and that will help this extended laning phase even better for UPD. I mean, that's going to give them even more regen, so now they get to stay in lane even longer versus FIT, and man, I really want to see both teams begin pulling the trigger. Because having all these tools for engage, oh, there's a gang in mid lane.
Oh, looks like the Emperor's Divide does cut the Arctic Assault just a bit too much, but the Glacial Prison will connect, but no. Not again. No first blood, sadly, for the efforts of both teams. has
Everybody's
been
so
secured.
tanky in that mid lane. I mean, it's very hard to take down a Zac and a Vladimir as well. I mean, it's always running the barrier on Azir.
And Zac has the passive, so...
Yeah, it's going to be very hard to kill anyone this game.
Oh boy, 13 minutes into the game. And no first blood has been secured, but the gold lead, not in anyone's favor. And we can see the CS, very minuscule, not gonna be that of an impact.
Yeah, they're going to try to go for something in the top lane.
Oh, no, knocks back to Zac, but there's the lockdown from the Hexa Ultimatum. 2 versus 1, as Shiro's very low, goes in out of the battle, and again, that's going to be finally the first blood going to FIT.
Yeah, and I think Veer a bit late to pass towards the top lane. The range on Zac's E, very, very clutch, right? They're able to close the distance very, very soon. And the lockdown as well from Camille's ultimate. Very, very nice punish on the Jace that was overextended in the lane.
And this is going to be also a close call for Shiro. He was very low, but right now top lane, bot lane rather, is getting the heat here. Teleport incoming. This will be Shiro joining in the fight. Goes in on to Alpha. Alpha blocks him out with a glacial fissure. These very low. Bullet time for the threat. These very low. And Nona gets the shock blast.
Yeah, back and forth both these teams in FID trying to go for an all-in in the bot lane, but it's very hard to all-in versus a Braum and a Xayah. Braum having that unbreakable, very, very hard to get through that. And the Featherstorm from Yonchan as well provides so much safety, and now I think UPD will be able to take down the first turret of the game.
You take away the first blood, you will take away the first turret. UPD gets the first turret of the game, very clean, no casualties in the bot lane.
Yeah, and now that both teams already have a kill, and UPD as well having a tower to their name, I think the feeling out process is done. We're gonna see a lot more fights now.
And not to mention, the Ocean Drake was taken away by UPD, and they secured more pressure in the bot lane. Next Drake is Infernal.
Yeah, now they're gonna begin rotating Nona to the bot lane. Now that that's a long lane, they're gonna move their bot lane to top and now try to chip down on that tower. But once the Infernal Drake is near spawn, I expect all the teams to go towards that area and really fight for vision there, because that's a huge objective.
And we were seeing Berger running the Lethality Misfortune, the Ghost Blade, and one Mercenary. The third could be the Dust Blade. But I wonder though, why don't some players, some champions, they don't really benefit from the Nightshade? Is that what's called, Shiska? Nightshade?
Yeah, I think so.
Why don't they get that?
I think because she doesn't have stealth really, so the only time she'll be able to proc that is if she stands in a bush and she autos an enemy. So it wouldn't be as effective onto something compared like a Wukong perhaps or a Kha'Zix.
Oh, I was talking about the Nightshade, not the Dust Blade.
Oh, Edge of Night!
Edge of Night. Oh, Edge of Night.
Oh, you bamboozled me!
Oh, sorry about that. So, about the Edge of Night here. Why don't we see most players getting the Edge of Night here? Is it less damage or is it not that favorable?
I think there are just better options for that item.
That's such a cool.
You bamboozled me!
So, looking for better options, we'll be seeing a Dust Blade and a Yuma's Ghost Blade here. Perhaps for the Misfortune. When we're talking about better options, go for... Don't ever settle in life. Go for the better one. But
know your worth.
Know your worth. Know what you can achieve and what you can take away. First Drake, the Infernal Drake will be spawning in 1 minute and 40. 1 second here. Let's see. No Warwick's place right now for FIT. No Crucial Vision secured in the Baron side either. But we are seeing, ooh, Mint spotted in the trucks.
Yeah, but you did mention the builds coming from these players as we transition into this mid-game. You mentioned Lethality on Misfortune. What this build does do, it gives her even more burst, but it limits her DPS compared to the Xayah. So if the fight goes very, very extended, the DPS should go in UPD's favor.
So let's see, FIT, they'll have to wrap up the fight as fast as they can so that UPD cannot have enough reaction time. We did see that in the bot lane, right after the blue time, but we're seeing a gap here. Fear! It's going to be counter-gagging mid. There comes the Featherstorm. D goes in, but it's still leaving Yonchan for the slaughter. Berger with the bullet time gets cancelled by the Glacial Fissure. Now Veer and Alto, they're backing off, but here comes Snowless for the rescue. Takes down Berger. Same with Zip. Ember's the fight for the call-up. FIT have an extended team fight towards not their win condition. That's going to be the double kill for Solus.
Yeah, great collapse there by all of the members of UPD. and Veer knows where Mint is going to come for a gank. He was able to sneak up there and punish FIT with a great counter again. Like I mentioned, if FIT aren't able to pull off the massive wombo combo and instantly burst down UPD, UPD is just going to win an extended team fight.
And we just saw that in the bot lane. Again, we see it in the top lane. Going strong here, Oblation Esports goes for a 4-2 standing in the 18-minute mark. And I can see that Nona may go for the turret, but still, break it down for us, Chisto, in the top lane.
Yeah, like I said, in an extended fight, UPD will just have every advantage that they could get. And Yochan, he's under no threat here. Whereas Burger, he's having to deal with Veer and Aldo, two very tanky champions. And UPD are just able to kite this back long enough to buy time for Solace to come in and clean up the rest of this. Very well played.
And very well played for Alto, using the Unbreakable to deny so much damage from the Misfortune, not just to block the bullet time, but also cancel it with the Glacial Fissure.
Yeah, very well played from UPD support.
And let's see how things will play out this time here, knowing that 4-2 advantage right now for UPD, a slight advantage, more gold for Solus. They try to deny the hyper carry in the mid lane, but failed in the top lane. Giving the double kill to Solus will be in their downfall, perhaps.
Yeah, the early game did go fairly slow, but once the mid game came, both teams, after they picked up their first kills, the hesitation just went gone. Both of them began pulling the trigger, but it has been UPD that has been coming out on top in these little fights.
And as for the Infernal Drake, has been secured by FIT, Tamaraus. Still, let's see how things will unfold once we move on to the late game. Because right now it's the mid game. Everything that FIT tried to stop and tried to delay, there's no stopping here for FIT. There's the lockdown we want to see, and there's the wrap up from Burger's ultimate.
Yeah, and there's so much CC and really hard to react to a Zac jumping out of Fog of War. Great wraparound by FIT to move around UPD's line of vision to get that kill in the mid lane. Very well played.
Well played indeed for FIT, getting kill score 4-3. Taking out Solus, getting more gold, but 184 CS. We see that he's at, whoa, 1,400 gold ahead. That's a lot of gold. Imagine what you can buy with that.
A lot. I mean, BF Sword.
BF Sword out of the Zia?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, you can buy that.
Then what?
You have more damage with your auto attacks, but looking at the game here, even though FIT were able to pick up that kill onto Solace in the mid lane, they weren't able to translate that into any real objective, whereas UPD, they already have a 3-0 tower lead, so they've opened up the map a lot.
But still, that didn't stop FIT from taking away the Inferno.
Yeah. It didn't stop FIT to take the Inferno, but like I said, towers in UPD's favor.
Yes, and when it comes to map control, it's definitely in UPD's favor. And the Baron is live right now, so let's see how things will unfold once we see some players, some teams going straight for the Baron, because as we all love Chisto, as I love the Baron buff the most, because that can make a losing team win, and the winning team right now, the ones ahead, tilt so hard. But let's see how things will unfold again once they are already. Look at that, FIT, they're making things a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, you love the Baron buff the most, but does the Baron buff love you back?
Perhaps. I want to hope that it does love me back. And but it's sad that it will only love me for 33 minutes and leaves me empty.
Sounds so sad, but like you said, the Baron dance can be very tricky for both teams. Right now, though, UPD having that tower advantage, they're going to be able to push up the minion waves and be the first team to set up vision around that area. Let's see how FIT responds to this, because right now they're playing a bit hesitant, really hesitating to pull the trigger in any of these fights.
Dude, they're just playing they're still going out there playing style where they're a bit passive, but once they know that there's a clash that it's 100% sure that it's theirs, they're going to go straight in. But right now, Veer and Alto going in for
very sneaky Sejuani.
They were at a blind spot there in the bot lane, so let's see how UPD will play this bottom lane.
Yeah, they're beginning to push down this bottom lane, because what that does, it's going to put the members of FIT farther away from the Baron if they want to defend that wave, and that will give UPD a window to possibly rush that down, because with a Xayah and a Nazir that's fairly fed at this stage, the Baron will fall down very, very quickly.
Let's see though. I mean, Things are heating up in the bot lane. We're seeing Veer already rotating in and out. And FIT, they don't have vision in their own jungle. So let's see how things will play out.
Yeah, I think UPD will be happy to just chip down his tower, constantly go for chip damage. And like I said, they do have an option to dive if they want to, but I don't think that will be the wisest choice.
For, let's see, pressure, they're doing a good job. But man, what can FIT do to try and turn this around if they want to win this game?
They need to begin pulling the trigger somewhere. They need to just collapse onto one lane, pick a lane, just go for a kill there, and then hopefully translate that into an objective.
Can they do that though with the items
They have the tools. Gonna go for a 1v1.
Yeah, sure, goes for a 1v1 with the help of Zeke. That's gonna be Zeke getting the kill there in the top lane. So Nona is down. 4 members alive. Let's see if, as you said, they can translate this to some objectives, but the only objective available to take could be the turrets, but still out of the question here for FIT, and the Baron also out of the question.
Yeah, with Nona being off the map, UPD, they have to back off here because FIT have teleport advantage for the next 20 seconds. And if UPD overextend, FIT will be able to punish them, but wisely enough, like I said, they need to back off. That's what they do. They go for a reset.
Let's wait for Nona to spawn and see another. The resume of UPD's aggression in all lanes here, pressuring them. But Ashira, again, it's a Camille, reaching that spike where, in a way, can potentially out-damage this Jace. But we're seeing this Jace picking up the Dusk Blade. Cannot fully utilize the passive of it, but still, lethality is a welcome stat.
Yeah, he's very happy to have that Dusk Blade completed. I know you like that item, Vulcan.
Of course I do. It's my bread and butter.
Yeah, and now Ocean Drake will be spawning fairly soon. UPD is first to the area. They were able to set down vision.
And then we can see the Ocean Drake spawning right now here in the bot lane, and already
Will we see a fight over this?
Oh,
I mean, FIT, they need to pull a trigger, and UPD, they're drawing them in.
oh boy, FIT already denying some vision. The Shrine will expire. Let's see how things will play right now in the Drake pit.
Is Veer caught here? I don't think so.
Eagles call. Note that everyone is ready to go all in. Teleport is available for Nona. Same as Solas, having the barrier and Flash. Can play very aggressive here.
Both teams are gearing up. Who will pull the trigger first?
Teleport is available. Ashira and Nona
Here we go.
is watching it out. There is the Let's Bounce capturing the tanky member. That's going to be bad news. You deliver Alpha to your team though, but still the bullet time is there, but Alpha blocking all the damage. Teleport goes to the backlane. Burger still going out to members of Fear, and Solas getting the Emperor's Defy, opening up the field for Nona, but still has to face 4 members. 2 members down for UPD, and as for FIT, 2 members are also taken down, but still, an extended team fight is always UPD's favor with a triple kill for Yocha.
Yeah, with that team fight win, I think UPD will get a free Ocean Dragon. Great divide right there by this. You're able to separate the members of FIT, and great play as well coming from the Xayah. Great positioning in that team fight, nearly untouched throughout that entire skirmish.
The fact that Mint brought Alpha face point towards Virgin was already a disaster.
Yeah,
I mean,
the Braum does so much work versus the Misfortune. I mean, that shield, you just can't break that. I mean, it is unbreakable.
and you cannot really ignore the fact that this Braum is going to be the safeguard for UPD and FIT. They have to do something about this Braum. But let's see in the replay here for the breakdown.
Now let's break down the fight here. It is the Braum that is pulled in, so he's very, very tanky. FIT aren't able to take him down instantly, and with his Unbreakable, he denies so much damage and so much safety as well for the Xayah right here. Just completely untouched. Great exhaust as well on the Vladimir. Denies a lot of his damage.
Great timing here for UPD in a way that this is still their win condition and going in strong in game 1. The first match of today's stream in the LVL ends with, I would say, another great trade-off again for UPD. A triple kill for Yo-chan with his Xayah.
Yeah, UPD, they're navigating these team fights very, very well. They know that they will win every extended team fight, so they just try their best to kite back when they see the engage from FIT happen. And if FIT fail to initiate, they're just going to lose every team fight.
It looks like after that frustrating battle in the bot lane, blue side for FIT. We can see Berger getting the FH, possibly going for the Black Cleaver for incredible shred. But after the shred, can any member of FIT benefit from it? It would just be the Camille. But let's see, can Ashira make those crucial plays for Hera with Berger?
Going for a play now.
Again, for Nona, he's locked down, can't escape. Ashira gets the slow, and the Arcane coming prong. Oh boy, Ashira's gonna kite it. Oh my god, Nona with a kite.
Oh my god, Nona is a beast. He is being chased down here. That is unfortunate, but what a great 1v1 by UPD's top laner, completely outplaying the Camille.
Gets kited so hard, he cannot escape that, but Nona and Ashira will be down. So 4 members alive, 1-1 train. Let's see, mid lane is doing siege, and D. He couldn't move at all.
Yeah, that's definitely so much CC across a Promise, a Juwani, and a Rahelize on the Azir. There's really no escape once they catch onto you. And with that being said, the numbers advantage for UPD, they are going to be able to chip down this mid lane inhibitor turret.
Let's see, 29 minutes into the game, Ocean Drake. 2 Ocean Drakes for UPD, Oblation Esports. 1 Infernal for FIT. Next Drake is Cloud. Ashira is responding right now, so let's see how things will pan out, but still.
Check out this 1v1. This is just Nona absolutely styling onto the Camille. Just great play by UPD's top laner.
And he buys time staying in the brush to really delay the ultimatum's duration. I mean, look at that.
Fancy feat, man. You just style on your opponents.
Misses the Tiamat proc too.
Nearly.
Nearly.
That fight was decided literally by inches.
Very close call for Ashira.
Yeah, speaking of close calls, I'm very surprised that UPD haven't made a move towards this Baron, knowing that they are now ahead. They have more control over the game. I wouldn't be that surprised though if they begin setting up towards that objective, because they do have a tower advantage. Note, FIT haven't taken down any towers yet.
Oh boy, you're right. 5-0 turret score is somehow
2v1?
not in your favor. Look at the lockdown. Berger's there and the delivery for Berger. He gets the kill there, possibly helping him get his Black Cleaver sooner. Perhaps, let's hope it's not too late for FIT.
Yeah, and with that being said, Ashira will be able to take down the first tower for FIT, maybe the first of many. I mean, if they want to mount a comeback in this game, their window would be to go for an engage, try and start a fight that will go in their favor.
Oh boy.
Immediately burst down any member of UPD, but it's very, very hard to do.
And Ashira does have the Tiamat, so he will be split pushing. He'll be the main split pusher for his team. Let's hope that he can get away, he can take away the turrets and the pressure that his team needs to win this game.
Yeah, and we're nearing that 30-minute mark. We are past the 30-minute mark already, actually. And now UPD are setting up towards this Baron. They have so much more vision in that area compared to FIT. So, with that being said, FIT need to respond. They need to set down vision here.
Let's see.
They are going for it.
Instead, goes for the mid lane, bro. Goes straight for Veer.
Fairly tanky on this Juwani. I don't think they're going to be able to take that down. Especially in a long trade. MF not the best at taking down tanks, especially. Veer's just going to be super hard to kill for FIT.
But let's see. Berger has the Black Cleaver.
1v1 again?
Feeling the wounds for Ashira. He's feeling the pain. Wants to get his revenge.
Ashira just wants to get close to Nona, but Nona doesn't like him. Just knocked him back.
When you don't get the hints, that's what you get, Justo.
Yeah, I get hit with a huge hammer out of the air.
You don't get the hints being showed to you, you're going to lose a 1v1. Right? What happened in the bot lane for Ashira. So, again, the Baron is live right now. Steady game for both teams. Still, anyone's game because the Baron is going to change everything.
Yeah, things have slowed down a bit here. Both teams really not wanting to go for fights. I think UPD, they're happy to just play the macro game here. Just try and push all of these minion waves towards FIT. And once they get lane priority, they're going to just move towards that Baron and force FIT into a tough decision. Do we challenge the Baron or do we defend the minion waves?
We're talking about Zach, so I think for FIT, they can possibly hope for a steal. They are on the red side, so it's easier for them with the Zac to steal the Baron.
Yeah, but it's very hard to do without any vision. UPD has just been controlling the Baron dance, just dictating the steps to it really well.
Okay,
But now,
knowing that the Ocean Drink has been, rather the Cloud Drink has been taken by Ashir, they know that Ashir is not in the red side. Immediately Veer pulls the trigger. Now they're trying to get control of the Baron buff area.
yeah, will UPD pull the trigger on this?
Veer has the Glacier Prison, uses it. Oh, only a slow zone will be his reward. And that's going to be one ultimate down for UPD. A crucial ultimate gone.
Yeah, that's a window that FIT can play around if they are able to find a fight. But right now, I don't think they are interested, given that UPD still deals a lot of damage to their members. I wonder, are they going to find that opportunity? Will UPD get caught?
They have to make some room, make anything they can take from this game, because
The cooldown is fairly slow, very fast though.
well, let's see. I don't think they're gonna wait for the cooldown. Oh, they all come together. That would be a good ultimate from mid, but still, Nona is pressuring the bot lane.
Yeah, Nona is definitely very impressive as far as split push goes, and I see that Ashir is building towards what could be a Sterex gauge. Will be able to help him in this 1v1 versus the Jace.
Plus, not to mention the passive that it gives you. Base attack damage, that is a lot.
That is a lot.
50 plus 80, and tankiness is somehow of a stat.
UPD are pushing forward here.
Oh, they're pressuring.
This might be the fight.
They're pressuring FIT. 3 members in the mid lane. Oh, there is the Simon Pool and the bullet type. Oh, the unbreakable 4. The shield.
Look at this here.
The glacial prison does miss the cancel. Yochan is stacking up defenders. 4 members collapsing.
Oh, they got the Azir.
They got the Azir. And Burger's now onto Yochan.
That might be Baron.
BC taking down Yochan.
This definitely has to be Baron for FIT. They were able to find that window versus the members of Ablation Esports, and now they are collapsing towards that area. Great engage by FIT.
And for Shira, he is blocking Alto's escape. Does not want him to be alive.
Yeah,
and
Alto knows he's dead.
Securing 4 members down for UPD. Only Veer remains. And now, the Baron.
Yeah, I don't think Veer will arrive in time, and like we mentioned, the Glacial Prison being down could have been the determining factor in that team fight. UPD, they did not back away, and FIT went full aggressive.
And goes straight for the Baron buff. Let's see how things will play out differently, but the breakdown in the mid lane.
Yeah, and this is a very hard team fight for UPD to execute because they are under FIT's tower, and they were able to find the huge knockup onto Solace and just lock him down. And look at all that chain CC. If FIT are able to find more of these initiates, they're just going to run away with this game.
And not just that, also the Baron buff. Let's see if FIT can secure game 1. The help of the Baron buff. Right now, they have a good gold lead. Not that of a huge difference from UPD, but it's the fact that they're down for 6/3 to 1. That is the indicator, but still.
They have Baron buff now. They are going to be able to possibly take down 1 or 2 of these turrets. It's just a matter of how UPD decides to defend against all of these engaged tools from FIT.
And it looks like the Vladimir is reaching its incredible power spike going into the 36-minute mark.
Yeah, I think that blasting one will become Irabadon's death cap. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. And like we mentioned, with the Baron buff being on FIT, they are going to be able to begin taking down these towers. It's just, how will UPD defend versus this? They need to burn time. They need to stall for as long as they can.
And as for Ashira, he has the Sterex gauge, so he'll be fearless going on a 1v1 with this Jace. And the bot lane pressuring it down.
Yeah, with the Jace not picking up the Black Fever, I think it's going to be harder for him to take down the Camille in the 1v1 because Camille is fairly tankier with her build. So, like you mentioned, in an extended fight, if Nona isn't able to poke down Ashira first, he'll just lose 1v1. The towers falling so quickly.
Very close call. Was baiting out Nona in the bot lane, but still, as you said, once you get the Baron buff, can really shape out how the game will turn out. 3/3 score for FIT.
Yeah, the momentum has definitely shifted all the way to the side of FIT after that great hold by them in the mid lane. Right now, they're just dictating the tempo of this game. And with the Baron buff, the tower score is just go near even already very, very quickly.
And also the gold lead is now in favor of FIT iTimer rounds.
Yeah, but they still need to be very careful if they go for a fight. There's a lot of safety options from UPD. If FIT mess up an engage, that will be UPD's window. And with that being said, Elder Drake is up in under a minute. That will be a huge objective for both teams, given that they are team fight heavy. Elder Drake might be the tipping point.
And also, they still have the Baron buff. I think they will still have the Baron buff in that duration, but still, we don't know for sure if they are going to be gambling the Elder Drake here.
There's a risk reward in League. If you want to win, you're going to have to take those gambles.
And as for UPD, they're still going to be defending against the incoming waves from the Baron buff with power minions.
It's very hard for Nona to pressure Ashira now because they let the Camille get items. They let her become tanky enough to survive a 1v1 fight versus Jace that did not pick up a Black Cleaver. This Jace built full lethality and then a Maw. He's built to just poke down targets and poke down towers, not to 1v1 the Camille. So it's going to be very hard for Nona.
Not just that, Berger has the... Oh boy, has the armor penetration percentage, the Lord Dominic's, and also the Black Cleaver. So that's going to be a lot of damage, a lot of shred. If Alto messes up his Unbreakable or his Glacial Freezer, UPD can just lose the game.
Yeah,
They're
definitely
not careful. But knowing Alto, he did have successful blocks. I wouldn't count on it unless he was in a very, very bad spot.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, Elder Drake is on the table. We are going to see a fight very, very soon.
And the Baron buff has expired, so let's see how things will pan out. We see Zeth in the top lane. He has to teleport. Beer gets caught by the gummy shot from mid. That's going to be
They're
some
forcing
pressure.
UPD back though. That is huge for FIT. Now they have more vision control around this area.
Nona has teleport.
This is going to be a fight. UPD has to challenge.
There is a ward right there, and the control wards does not see it. A teleport can happen here.
Oh, she was fucking around!
Goes for the flag. Yoja with a better storm, and there's the lock, and the bullet time gets blocked, and there is Z for the flag with the Vladimir. Yochan still very low in health. Z's brought the stasis. Ashirik backs in and out, weaving in and out of the fight. Z is still timing his range, and still Yochan will be getting the kill there, but there will
they got Azir!
a trade-off here. Ashira takes down Azir, and next will be Nona.
Yeah, UPD, they're running for the heals. There's no way they can escape versus FIT's comp. And with that team fight win, how much can FIT take? Great engage by them.
Look at Ashira with the Camille place. Look at the flank he did, scrambling the members of UPD, forcing them to choke, and in the end, they take away 2 members.
Yeah,
and now they're eyeing this turret.
Yeah, there's still 40 seconds unknown and 30 on
still,
solid.
let's not stop. Yochan can still do something here. Glacier Pistol will go on to see. He goes on the ground. He's invulnerable, but Yochan is still healthy. Let's see. Can Yochan make the plays? But Berger takes down. This is Juani, but a shot down for Yochan. Can be the double, but Alto takes it away. It'll be a cleanup. They overstay, but Ashira is going for the Elder.
Oh, what can happen? This is very, very messy.
Oh, for the flag, and the ultimatum gets dodged, but that's going to be a shot down for Ashira. The Elder will reset, but still they take down Yochan.
Yeah, very, very messy right there. FIT, they were split up. Some of their members tried to push down the mid lane, and Camille was doing the Elder Drake by herself. This is still a great... Oh, let's break down the fight right here, of course. The engage coming through the Camille, tanky enough to deal with 5 members, able to survive long enough. But just a great flank as well. By the Vladimir, able to take Yochan low enough so that the Zaya is just out of this fight compared to Burger's full HP this long into a fight.
And you gotta hand it to Z. And Ashira's flag.
Yeah, very well played by FIT. I mentioned UPD has an advantage in extended team fights, and right there FIT showing their team fight was able to come out on top even though they were at a disadvantage.
When you're talking about a Camille at the 42-minute mark, you're seeing a huge obstacle in your way here. So the Baron is live, the Elder Drake is live. So the question is, which objectives can you prioritize? Obviously it's the Baron buff, but you want 2 things.
It's a matter of priorities. You can't have 2 things at the same time.
You can unless you choke the enemy.
Yeah, but it's gonna be very hard given that we're reaching that
Be
late game.
greedy. When you're greedy, you can do anything you want. And right now,
Ace is greedy call though.
that's okay. Maybe they can pull it off here. Oh, wait, no, that's too greedy. They have to back away. UPD's already there, but Ashira, wait, takes down Nona for a solo kill. Ashira has teleport. That's bad news.
Oh, UPD, they need to be very careful.
Oh my.
There are flank wards for the Camille.
Let's see.
Oh
Here.
no.
Oh my god.
Need to be very careful.
Better be careful.
They do force FIT off of the Baron though. I wonder why FIT didn't opt to pull the trigger there. They had a numbers advantage. They had a teleport advantage. That was a huge window for them to possibly win the game off of a team fight.
Oh, I don't know what they're thinking, but still. Oh,
Here?
mid. Backs away. Dodges with the Arc Assault. But still a replay for the solo kill.
This is just pure revenge for Ashira. Oh, look at that damage, man. Camille.
True damage from the precision there. So Yo-chan has the Guardian Angel, same as Ashira.
Yeah, Camille just wants to get close
Baron
to
buff being called by FIT.
This
9,000, 7,000. That's going to be very low.
We're gonna see a fight happen. Here we go, Vulcan!
They're turning it around, but the Glacier Prison will block the engage. But Ashira is in the back line going up.
Oh my god, Burger!
Yo-chan gets bursted by Ashira, but Ashira's not done yet. Goes out to Solus, makes him go away with the Emperor's Divine. A flash in from Z, and under the wall. That's gonna be a cleanup for FIT.
That might be the nail in the coffin of UPD. What a great bait by FIT. They're forcing UPD to decide, will he challenge the Baron? Because if they gave that up, that will just give FIT more tools to siege with it. This Baron will go down for free.
Oh, free maybe, possibly. Next could be the Elder. Rather, not that campy compared to the Baron buff, but we'll see. Once they have a reason here, gonna be regenerating, but Ashira is not gonna wait any longer, going straight for the inhibitor.
Yeah, FIT, they've been playing the mid to late game team fights very, very well. Just absolutely outplaying UPD. Very, very great play by them.
And not just that, but Ashira with the flanks. I gotta hand it here. Let's see how he was able to do that. He had a teleport ready.
Now look at what happens when the Misfortune gets a bullet time that isn't
And look
blocked
at that, gets
by Unbreakable.
shoved.
Look at the bullet time. Absolutely destroys UPD with a Solar Flare landing on 3 people as well. That's massive.
And that's why I said Alto will be the one to really shape how things turn out.
One
And
ability.
One ability can shut down FIT, but that is something that FIT will not gamble on. Baron Bomb, Elder, all in the hands of FIT. Let's
All
see.
of a sudden, a 10k gold lead over the FIT. At this stage of the game, Baron, Elder, this looks so insurmountable for UPD.
And at this point of the game, gold does not really matter. It's 45 minutes. Well, let's see. Limit lane means it gets locked down. A lot of CC, a lot of abilities being used on the mid here. The passive is there, but Yo-chan will be taking down mid. Looks like a failed teleport is there from Ashira.
Oh no, this is UPD's window.
Zito. Oh my god, look at
what a
that
flash!
first time. Oh my god, Ashira is left alone there. Gets knocked back, gets a lockdown for the next ultimate.
Got the Azir!
Guardian Angel, but leaving Berger behind. They were too focused on the Azir. They did not see Ashira. And instead, Yo-chan was trying to back away, but no. That's going to be a triple kill for Berger.
Can he get more though? They are running towards him.
That's going to be 4 members. A quadra kill for Berger.
Will Yo-chan give over the Penta? I think this might be the game, Vulcan. The death timers are long.
Who needs a penta when you secure a game, Chisto?
Anyone needs a Penta, man.
I would rather get a victory over penta, but still, great gameplay from FIT.
I don't think Yo-chan can defend this.
This
There's
is
too
going
much.
to be game 1. The first match,
Dive.
game 1 of
Go
the
for the Penta.
LVL
Dive.
will be going towards
Give it
the
over.
I-Tamaras for game 1, and now we'll be moving on to game 2. Congratulations to the I-Tamaras FAU Techcom.
What a great mid to late game by FIT. Really helped them secure this victory. And man, just excellent team fighting coming from FIT.
Man, I gotta say, from the early game, I thought FIT was gonna lose the late game. But still, we cannot disregard Ashira's Camille, and not to mention the Vladimir was already all pumped up, all ready to go for the late game. And with that said, great gameplay by FIT. UPD, they played passive, they played smart, but in the end, it was the sheer raw power and the clutch calls from FIT.
Yeah, there was a stage in the game where Nona was fed enough to deal 1v1 versus the Camille, but once Camille was able to get tanky, the Jace didn't have that much pressure on the map, and it began swinging in the favor of FIT. They were able to dictate the team fights, find the engages, and just catch out the members of UPD. Very well played.
And in the end, securing the first game of match
There's
one.
one more though.
There's one more though. Let's see if UPD can bounce back from FIT. But still, I gotta hand it towards FIT for sticking to it and having faith in their teammates and securing their game one.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very excited to see how UPD will possibly adjust for the next game. I know they have something in store.
And with that said, I mean, I think we're ready to go move on to the short break, but still, let's have a summary to see how that first game went down, because I gotta see the damage. I'm really curious on how the damage was being dealt all throughout the charts here. I'm pretty sure Berger with the lethality and the black cleaver.
Yeah, I bet you Holiday Ham MF dealt the most damage.
But before that, let's look at the summary. Looking at the stats so far, look at the amount of gold that Ashira got.
Everyone got rich.
Everyone got rich thanks to the Baron, thanks to the Elder. That changed everything.
And again, great game by FIT. Let's hope they can carry this momentum into the next game possibly, or will UPD bounce back?
But let's move on to the damage graph to see. I mean, I'm really curious. Aren't you? Who dealt the most damage in that game one?
Definitely has to be the Misfortune, man. Just Berger did so much work.
But I think for Kamiya, for Ashira, he did some work with, let's say, buying some time for Berger to proc up. And also the fact that in the end, it was all up to Ashira and Berger to really choke the members, and Alto was being locked down and really buying time for the opening of the bullet time.
Yeah, definitely one ability, the Unbreakable not blocking the bullet time in one team fight, just really gave the win towards FIT.
And with that said, we'll be moving on to a short break to resume our game 2. This has been Game 1 of UPD Oblation Esports versus FEU IT Tamaraos, with FIT taking away the victory. So congratulations again to FIT for securing Game 1. Let's hope if they carry the momentum into Game 2 and for UPD to bounce back. We have been the Shotcasters. My name is Vulcan, and with me was Chisto. After the short break, we'll be seeing another game. But we're seeing a gap here. It's going to be counter-gagging mid. There comes the Feather Storm. Blade goes in, but still leaving Yochan for the slaughter. Berger with the bullet time gets cancelled by the Glacial Fissure. Now Beer and Alto, they're backing off, but here comes Snowless for the rescue. Takes down Berger. Same with Z. Embers the fight for the call-up. FIT have an extended team fight towards not their win condition. That's going to be the double kill. Go! Watching it so now, there is the Let's Bounce capturing the tanky member. That's going to be bad news. You deliver Alto to your team though, but still, the bullet time is there, but also blocking all the damage. Teleport closes up backlane. Berger still going on to members of Fear, and Solace getting the Embers Divide, opening up the field for Nona, but still has to face 4 members. 2 members down for UPD, and as for FIT, 2 members are also taken down, but still, an extended team fight is always UPD's favor. With a triple kill, 3 members in the mid lane. Oh, there is the Cyber Pool and the bullet time. Oh, the Unbreakable door. The shield, the Glacial Fissure does miss the cancel. Yochan is stacking up the feathers. 4 members collapsing.
Oh, they got the Azir!
They've got the Azir, and Berger's now onto Yochan.
That might be Baron.
BC takes down Yochan.
This definitely has to be Baron for FIT. They were able to find that window versus the members of Oblation.
She was fucking out, goes for the flag. Yochan with the Feather Storm, and there's the lock, and the bullet time gets blocked, and there is Z for the flag with the Vladimir. Yochan still very low in health. Z's brought the stasis as Shirak backs in and out, weaving in and out of the fight. Z is still timing his range, and still Yochan will be getting the kill there, but there will
be a
trade-off here. Ashira takes down Azir, and next will be Nona.
Yeah, UPD, they're running for the heals. There's no way they can escape versus FIT's comp, and with that team
very low.
We're gonna see a fight happen. Here we go, Vulcan!
They're turning it around, but the Glacier Freezer will block the engagement. But Ashira is in the back line going up.
Oh my god, Burger!
Yochan gets bursted by Ashira, but Ashira's not done yet. Goes out to Solus, makes him go away with the Embers Divine. A flash in from C, and under the wall. That's gonna be a
Ashira. Oh no, this is UPD's window.
Tito. Oh my god!
What a flash!
Oh my god! Ashira is left alone there. Gets knocked back. Gets along up and actually ultimate.
Got the Azir!
Angel, but leaving Berger behind. They were too focused on the Azir. They did not see Ashira. And instead, Yochan was trying to back away, but now that's going to be a triple kill for Berger.
Can he get more though? They are running towards him.
That's going to be 4 members. A quadra kill for Berger.
Will Yochan give over the Penta? I think this might be the game for them. Guys,
will be going towards
give it over.
Tamaras for game 1, and now we'll be doing up game 2. Congratulations to the Tamaras as they will take off.
What a great victory game by FIP.
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.